Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures where humanity always rises. For ages, Earth stayed silent. No signals left the planet, no ships went out, and no message ever returned from the humans. To the alien empires watching from far away, Earth looked weak, peaceful, and forgotten. But on this day, everything changed. Far beyond the edge of the Sol system, a Zoltran scout ship picked up something strange, an energy pulse stronger than anything recorded before. The pilots inside the ship froze as warning symbols appeared on their screens. This pulse was coming from Earth, the planet they believed was quiet for thousands of years. The commander of the scout ship, a gray-skinned alien named Serox, leaned forward with fear and curiosity. He whispered, "This cannot be right. Earth is supposed to be isolated." The ship's sensors kept shaking. The energy level rose again, higher and higher, like something ancient was waking up from a long sleep. Serox ordered his team to send a probe. The probe launched into the darkness, moving fast toward Earth's orbit. Everything looked normal at first. Then, without warning, the probe blinked off the screen. No explosion. No debris. It simply vanished. The crew panicked. "Commander, something is there. Something we cannot see," one officer said, his hands shaking. Serox stared at the empty screen. Something powerful had destroyed the probe instantly. But Earth had no active defense systems. At least none that the Zoltran Empire knew about. The scout ship moved closer. The crew hoped to get a clear scan of the planet. But when the ship reached the edge of the solar system, every system suddenly failed. Lights flickered. Engines slowed. A deep, unknown voice spoke from the darkness of the ship's speakers. "Sol system is restricted. Leave immediately." The crew jumped out of their seats. That voice did not sound human, but it also didn't sound alien. It was calm, commanding, old. Serox tried to speak back, but the communication panel shut down. A force unlike anything they knew pushed the scout ship backward. It was not an attack. It was a warning. Serox ordered a full retreat. They turned the ship around and escaped the system as fast as possible. The Empire needed to know what was happening. When the scout ship returned home, the Zoltran Council held an emergency meeting. The leaders of the Empire sat around a glowing table. They listened to Serox's report, and their faces changed from confusion to fear. "Earth has awakened," Serox said. The Council demanded proof. Serox showed them the probe's last signal, the moment before it disappeared. The Council chambers fell silent. For centuries, the Zoltran had believed humans were a primitive species trapped on their simple blue planet. But this energy pulse, the voice, and the invisible destruction of the probe suggested something else, something hidden. The oldest member of the Council, Elder Vrax, stood slowly. He was old enough to remember the stories. Long ago, before many empires existed, there were rumors about humans, a powerful species that once fought a great enemy and then disappeared from history without explanation. "The stories were true," Vrax whispered. "Humans were not weak. They were sleeping." The Council argued for hours. Some wanted to send a full fleet to Earth and force the humans to reveal the source of the energy. Others warned that humans might be too dangerous to provoke. In the end, they decided to send more scouts, but secretly. They could not alert the other alien empires. If Earth truly held a hidden power, the Zoltran Empire wanted it for themselves. Meanwhile, deep under Earth's surface, something massive moved. A machine, older than any human city, began to wake. It had been silent for thousands of years, waiting for a signal, waiting for danger. Inside a hidden chamber, ancient lights turned on. A voice echoed through the underground halls. Protocol 7 activated. Humanity must prepare. The Earth's people did not know any of this. Life on the surface was normal. Humans worked, slept, and dreamed, believing they were alone and small in the universe. They had no idea that something extraordinary was happening beneath their feet. Far above the planet, satellites that no modern human built began to rotate and align. Their metal shells were covered in dust from centuries in orbit. But now they glowed with blue light. A network was coming alive. And even though no one on Earth could see it, The Zoltran ships scanning from a distance could see everything. This technology, it is impossible, one alien captain whispered while observing the strange satellites. Humans never built anything like this. But someone had. Or something. The energy pulse that the first scout ship detected was growing again. It spread through space like a wave. The alien system showed only one message, appearing again and again: Earth status, awakening. Panic spread through nearby alien territories. Ships moved away from the Sol system. Merchants stopped traveling near it. The empires began to whisper about the return of the old stories. Stories they hoped were only myths. Stories of humanity rising as a force stronger than any empire alive today. Near the end of the cycle, another mysterious signal came from Earth. The Zoltran Council watched it in complete silence. A calm voice said, "Warning 2. Do not enter Sol system." A final pulse followed. This time, every alien ship within several light-years felt it. Engines malfunctioned. Scanners broke. Ship alarms screamed. Entire fleets drifted helplessly for minutes before recovering. No empire had technology that strong. Only one possible explanation remained. Earth had been hiding something powerful for ages, something the aliens never expected to face again. And deep under the planet, as the last system activated, a giant metal door opened slowly. Behind it stood a massive structure covered in ancient symbols. Lights flickered across its surface. A voice from the machine said just one thing: Guardian 1 online. The Zoltran Empire did not sleep the night Earth awakened. Every council member stayed in the high chamber, reading reports, watching scans, and arguing in panic. For centuries, they believed Earth was a harmless blue world with simple humans who had no place in the galactic stage. But now, after the probe vanished and the strange warning voice echoed across systems, the truth was impossible to ignore. Something powerful had awakened on Earth, something ancient, something hidden. Elder Vrax stood at the center of the chamber, his silver eyes glowing softly under the dim lights. He looked older than anyone in the room, but his voice came out sharp and cold. "We told ourselves that humans were weak," he said. "But what if they were only hiding?" No one answered. They all remembered the old stories. Stories of humans who once fought a great darkness, stories of humans who disappeared suddenly, leaving no trace, as if they chose to erase themselves. For many years, these tales were considered myths. Now they looked like warnings. One of the younger council members, a scientist named Riot, stepped forward. He held a datapad showing strange readings from satellites near the Sol system. "The energy levels are rising again," he said. "Something is happening underground on Earth." Vrax narrowed his eyes. "What kind of something?" Riot swallowed hard. "A structure," he said. "Large. Possibly a ship. And it is waking up." The chamber fell silent. A ship beneath Earth? Hidden for thousands of years? It made no sense. Humans did not have such technology. At least, that was what the Empire believed. The Council began speaking all at once, fear mixing with disbelief. "Send another fleet." "No, it is too dangerous. We must tell the other empires. We must keep this secret." Voices rose until the room felt like it might explode. Finally, Vrax slammed his staff against the floor. "Enough," he said. "We will observe silently. No fleets. No attacks. If humans have returned, we must understand their power before we act." But there was a problem. News was not easy to contain. Rumors traveled faster than ships. Across border planets and trading stations, whispers spread like wildfire. Earth woke up. The humans are not weak. Something old is moving beneath their planet. Even the rival Juran Empire began sending scouts toward Sol system to confirm the story. They wanted to learn the truth before the Zoltran did. But the Zoltran Council had already taken its next step. Commander Serox, the same alien who first discovered the energy pulse, received a new mission. He stood inside the council chamber, feeling the pressure of hundreds of eyes. "You will lead a silent observation fleet," Vrax said. "You will not enter Sol system. You will not provoke Earth. You will watch from a safe distance and report everything. Serox nodded. But inside, he was not calm. He remembered the unknown voice that spoke through his ship, the invisible force that pushed him away. Whatever was happening on Earth was beyond anything he had ever seen. As Serox prepared his fleet, deep under Earth's surface, the ancient machine continued awakening. The giant structure, Guardian 1, pulled power from hidden reactors buried beneath mountains and oceans. Its systems hummed with life, remembering tasks it had not performed for thousands of years. In a dark control room, an AI core lit up. Status, Earth at risk, the AI said. Defense protocol activated. No humans were present. No one controlled it. It operated on orders written long ago by a generation the modern world had forgotten. Above ground, humans continued living normal lives. Children went to school. Workers rushed to their jobs. Friends met in cafes. No one knew that far beneath them, ancient gears and silent corridors were vibrating with return of lost technology. Something older than all human nations was preparing for conflict. Meanwhile, the Zoltran observation fleet arrived at the border of the Sol system. Serox stared at Earth through his viewing screen. It looked small and peaceful, floating gently in space. But he knew it was an illusion. The ship's scanners tried to read the surface, but the moment they started, the systems fried. Sparks flew from control panels. Serox shouted orders while engineers rushed to cool the overheating scanners. "It's blocking us," one officer said. "Earth is shutting down our systems." Serox felt a chill run through him. But how? They should not have this power. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. A familiar voice echoed through the ship speakers, the same calm, ancient voice that warned them before. "This is your second warning," it said. "Do not enter." The crew froze. Serox's heart pounded. "Who are you?" he asked, but the voice did not respond. It simply vanished. The ship recovered, but the fear remained. The mysterious force protecting Earth was watching them closely. Serox contacted the Council. The moment his report ended, chaos erupted again. Some council members demanded aggressive action. Others begged for caution. The possibility that humans controlled this power was terrifying. But Elder Vrax had a different fear. "What if the humans are not the ones waking up?" he asked slowly. "What if something older than them is returning?" His words chilled the entire chamber. Meanwhile, in another part of the galaxy, the Juran Empire intercepted the rumors. Their emperor, a war-hungry ruler named Kalrax, pounded his fist on the throne. "If humans hide ancient weapons," he growled, "we will take them." He ordered 3 war fleets to head toward Earth. The galaxy was beginning to move. And all of it focused on one quiet blue planet that had stayed silent for ages. Back on Earth, Guardian 1 finished its startup sequence. Massive engines hummed beneath the ocean floor. A soft blue glow spread across hidden tunnels. The AI spoke one final message to the empty chamber. Humanity must be prepared. The old enemy has returned. Earth was waking up. The universe was watching. And the real danger was only beginning. High above Earth, the quiet darkness of space was no longer calm. Strange lights flickered across ancient satellites that nobody remembered building. These metal structures, covered in centuries of dust, began to rotate slowly, aligning themselves into a perfect formation like pieces of a forgotten puzzle. At the same time, deep underground, enormous machines vibrated with rising energy. Guardian 1, Earth's hidden Titan-class structure, was fully awake now. Its systems scanned the planet, the solar system, and every alien presence nearby. And for the first time in thousands of years, Earth was not blind or silent. It was watching. The humans living on the surface felt nothing. People went to work as usual. Children played in the streets. Families ate dinner. But under the oceans and mountains, the ancient network prepared for something they could not imagine. Guardian 1 recognized a threat approaching. The Juran Empire's 3 war fleets were already moving toward the edge of the Sol system. Their emperor, Kalrax, wanted Earth's secrets for himself. He had no fear of humans. To him, humans were primitive animals who got lucky once in the past. But he didn't know the truth. No one did. In orbit, the first layer of Earth's hidden defense grid activated. A shimmering blue shield began forming around the planet, not visible to the human eye, but clear as day to the alien scanning ships near the border. Commander Serox watched the sight from his observation vessel. His eyes widened as the shield grew stronger, brighter, and more organized. "What are we looking at?" an officer whispered. Serox shook his head slowly. "This is not modern human technology. This is something far older." The scanners tried to analyze the shield, but the moment the beams touched it, they shut down. The shield was absorbing the scans like they were nothing. The crew panicked as systems sparked and screens went dark. "Commander, the shield is drawing power from our scanners," one engineer shouted. "Turn them off now." Serox roared. They shut everything down, but the damage was done. The alien crew stared at the glowing lines around Earth with terror. If this was only the first layer of defense, what else was hiding beneath it? While the aliens struggled to understand what they were seeing, Guardian 1 extended its reach. Towers buried deep beneath the oceans rose from the water, their surfaces shining with ancient blue lights. They were not weapons, yet, but communication beacons. Using these towers, Guardian 1 contacted something hidden even deeper: the human core network. A calm mechanical voice echoed through the underground halls. "Scanning complete. Network operational. Awaiting human command." But no humans arrived. No human voice answered. The AI paused, processing the silence. Human leadership missing. Default protocol applied. Defensive actions authorized. Guardian 1 prepared to fight without waiting for humans. Meanwhile, the Zoltran Council was drowning in fear. Reports from Serox came in non-stop. Each message was more shocking than the last. "Earth has a shield. Unknown structures rising from the oceans. Ancient satellites forming patterns. We cannot scan anything." The council chamber shook with arguments. One group wanted to attack immediately before humans grew stronger. Another argued that an attack would be suicide. Elder Vrax remained silent until the final report came in. When he saw the image of the rising ocean towers, his eyes widened in shock. "I have seen these symbols before," he whispered. "In the oldest records. From the time when humans fought the great enemy." Everyone stared at him. "Are you saying humans built all this thousands of years ago?" someone asked. Vrax nodded slowly. "And then they erased their own past to protect everyone." The room fell into stunned silence. If Vrax was right, humans were not just another species. They were a superpower that had chosen to sleep. And now they were waking up. At the edge of the Sol system, the Juran war fleets arrived. Their ship engines blazed with red light. Thousands of soldiers prepared for battle, confident they could overpower whatever Earth had hidden. Their admiral, Korak, smirked when he saw the blue planetary shield. "A pretty light," he said. "We will break it." He ordered the first barrage. 10 warships fired beams strong enough to melt asteroids. The attack struck the shield, and vanished like they never existed. Not even a ripple appeared. The alien fleet went silent. "What was that?" a soldier asked, terrified. Korak growled. Again. 20 more warships fired. Same result. Nothing. The shield did not even shake. And then something terrifying happened. Guardian 1 responded. From the ocean towers, thin lines of blue energy connected to the shield. The shield expanded outward, slowly at first, then faster. The alien ships tried to back away, but the shield touched their hulls. It did not destroy them. It froze them. Engines shut down. Weapons shut down. Navigation died. The ships drifted helplessly. Korak screamed for his engineers to recover control, but it was too late. The ancient human network had scanned every ship, disabled every threat, and left the fleet useless in seconds. For the first time in his life, Korak felt true fear. He sent a message to the Empire: "Earth is not weak. Earth is dangerous. Do not come here." Meanwhile, Serox watched the event from far away. His entire crew went silent. This is impossible, an officer whispered. No empire has this power. Serox lowered his head. Maybe no empire was meant to. On Earth, Guardian 1 finished scanning the Juran fleets and sent the final report to its hidden core, threat neutralized. More threats incoming. Preparing next stage. The ground trembled softly, unnoticed by the world above. Massive doors deep under the surface began to shift. Engines older than human civilization warmed up. A low, rumbling sound vibrated across underground chambers. Something enormous was preparing to rise. Earth was not showing its full power yet. This was only the beginning. And the galaxy was about to witness what humans had protected for ages. The galaxy trembled as news of the Juran fleet's defeat spread like wildfire. No one could believe it. 3 full war fleets, thousands of ships, had been stopped without a single explosion, without a single human appearing. The shield around Earth absorbed every attack, disabled every engine, and left the powerful Juran helpless. It was the first time in history that a great empire was defeated by a planet that had not even revealed itself. As the alien worlds argued and panicked, Guardian 1 continued its mysterious activation deep beneath Earth. Giant machines the size of mountains hummed with rising energy. Massive doors hidden under deserts, oceans, and forests began to slide open. Each door revealed long tunnels leading to unknown depths. The ancient AI monitored every movement around Earth, calculating threats with cold precision. Next phase initiating. Global Awakening Protocol active, it said. Above ground, humans still lived normal lives. No alarms. No warnings. No signs of danger. But small, subtle changes were beginning. Around the world, people started hearing strange vibrations, low hums rising from the ground during the night. In cities, animals stared at the sky as if seeing something humans could not. Birds flew in strange formations. Dogs barked at empty air. The Earth was preparing itself, and the world could feel it without understanding it. Meanwhile, at the edge of the Sol system, Commander Serox watched the frozen Juran fleets with dread. Not a single one of their ships was functioning. They floated like silent metal graves. Serox's team was afraid to go closer, but they continued scanning from a safe distance. Every few minutes, the planet's shield pulsed with soft blue light, like a heartbeat. "It is alive," one officer whispered. "Earth is alive." Serox shook his head. Not Earth. Something inside Earth. Back in the Zoltran Council chamber, fear dominated the room. The council members shouted over one another, desperate to understand the impossible. If humans built this shield long ago, how did we never detect it? How did they hide something this big? Are they planning a war? Elder Vrax, however, remained silent. His old eyes were filled with something deeper than fear, recognition. He slowly raised a trembling hand, and the room quieted. "I told you before," he said softly, "the ancient stories were true. Humans once fought an enemy that threatened the galaxy itself. They used technology beyond our understanding. And then, they vanished." Riot, the scientist, stepped forward. "But Elder, if humans were so powerful, why did they stop? Why hide?" Vrax took a long breath. "Because the cost of using their full power was too high. They chose to sleep. They chose to disappear." His words chilled everyone in the chamber. If humans were waking now, that meant one thing: the old threat had returned. But none of the empires knew what that threat was. They didn't even know what humans were truly capable of. Meanwhile, in the Juran Empire, chaos erupted. Emperor Kalrax smashed his throne in rage when he learned that all 3 of his fleets were disabled without a single casualty on Earth's side. "How can simple humans do this to us?" he roared. His generals trembled as they stood before him. "It was not humans, Emperor. It was something on Earth." "Something very old," one general said. Kalrax gritted his teeth. "Then we will destroy it. Prepare the Juggernaut fleet." His empire obeyed, even though their fear grew stronger. But none of them realized that Earth was already preparing for them. Deep beneath continental plates, The biggest secret of all was waking. Guardian 1 activated Earth Core Station, the deepest part of the ancient network. A sphere of bright energy formed in the darkness, swirling like a small star. It pulsed with immense power, enough to shake the planet itself. But instead of breaking the Earth, the energy flowed smoothly through channels built long ago. These channels connected to desert vaults, ocean pillars, mountain chambers, and hidden orbital structures. The entire planet was becoming a coordinated fortress. The AI spoke once more, Earth Defense Stage 2, linking all Guardian units. In different parts of the world, hidden machines responded. A structure under the Sahara Desert lit up. Another beneath the Pacific Ocean roared to life. One buried under Antarctica opened massive wings of metal like a sleeping titan stretching after a long rest. These machines were not weapons. Not yet. They were guardians built to protect Earth when humanity could not. And now, they were returning to life. As the machines activated, something strange happened on Earth's surface. In a small town, a woman looked up at the sky and gasped. A faint pattern of symbols flashed across the clouds, symbols no modern human could understand. In another city, a group of students felt a vibration under their feet, strong enough to shake windows but too soft for seismographs to detect. Around the world, millions of humans felt an unexplained sense of alertness, as if their instincts were warning them that something ancient was stirring. Back in space, Serox received a new transmission from Earth. There was no image, only a voice, the same calm, ancient voice that spoke before. This is your final warning. Do not advance further. Humanity is not yet ready. Serox felt chills run down his spine. The voice was not threatening, but it carried absolute authority. It felt old, powerful, and strangely protective. Not of aliens. Of humans. The voice continued, when humanity wakes, the galaxy will understand. Until then, stay away. The transmission ended. No empire had ever been spoken to like this. Serox trembled. Whatever is down there, it does not want to hurt us. It wants to protect humans. Meanwhile, far below Earth's crust, Guardian 1 detected a massive spike of energy in deep space. The old enemy had awakened. A cold message appeared on the core, warning, the Devourers are approaching. The ancient threat humans once fought millennia ago was returning. And Earth's hidden guardians were not waking for war with alien empires. They were waking because something far worse was coming. Something that could consume the galaxy. Earth had only begun to rise. And the true battle had not even started. For days the galaxy watched Earth with silent fear as more strange lights moved across the planet's skies. No one knew what they meant. No one understood why Earth, a world that stayed isolated for ages, suddenly activated something powerful. In the great meeting halls of the Council, delegates whispered about dangers, hidden weapons, and ancient secrets. But no one had any proof. Everyone had only one truth: Earth was no longer quiet. And now, something even more mysterious was happening. In deep space, far beyond the normal patrol routes, a listening station owned by the peaceful Arden race picked up a strange signal. The operator, Saran, stared at his screen with confusion. The signal was weak at first, almost like a heartbeat in the void. Then it grew louder, clearer, sharper. It sounded human. But that made no sense. Earth never sent signals. Their planet was wrapped in a thick communication shield. Nothing came in, and nothing came out. Saran's hands shook as he pressed the record button. The signal carried a voice, calm, steady, and heavy with warning. This is a restricted transmission. Do not approach Earth. Do not scan Earth. Do not interfere with Earth's surface. Failure to comply will trigger defensive action. Saran froze. He replayed the message again and again, but each time he heard the same thing. It was not a distress call. It was not a message for help. It was a warning. And humans were not supposed to have the type of technology needed to send a message across regions guarded by jammers. Saran reported it to his captain, who reported it to the Council. Within hours, every major species received a copy of the message. Panic began to rise. Some believed it was fake. Some feared it was real. Some argued that humans had discovered an alien weapon ages ago and kept it hidden. But the most worried were the Vora, who had already lost a scout ship near Earth. They believed the signal was directed mainly at them. They believed Earth was preparing to strike. While the galaxy argued, another change happened near Earth. A strange object appeared on long-range scanners. It moved slowly at first, like a drifting moon. But when the scanners adjusted, the truth shocked every observer. It was a ship. A human ship. But not like any ship the galaxy had seen before. It had no engines that matched known designs. It had no metal signature. It seemed alive, or at least built with something the scanners could not identify. The ship hovered just above Earth's orbit, and then a second signal echoed across space. This time the message was even clearer. The barrier is opening. Do not interfere. The Council demanded answers. Every race that tried to communicate with Earth received no reply. Some brave explorers considered sending drones through the barrier, but they hesitated after the warning. And then an event happened that shocked the entire galaxy. A piece of the barrier broke open. Light poured out from the crack, bright and blinding, like a star being born. It lit up the void. It lit up stations and ships. It lit up every scanner across 5 sectors. Inside the light, shapes moved. Shadows. Structures. Machines. And something that looked like a massive gate. The Vora commander, Kellner, watched the scene with horror. "Humans built this," he whispered. His second-in-command shook his head. "They couldn't have. This looks too old." Kellner's eyes narrowed. "Or humans are not what we think." On the Council's flagship, the leaders argued again. Some thought Earth had found an ancient artifact. Others thought humans had been hiding a lost civilization. Others believed Earth was becoming a threat too powerful to ignore. As debates exploded across the galaxy, Earth remained silent. But the gate behind the barrier, now visible to everyone, opened further. And then, a deep pulse spread outward. It was not sound. It was not energy. It was something older. Something that touched every mind for a moment. Every being felt a chill inside their bones. Every species felt a message that had no words. A presence awakening. Something ancient. Something hidden. The galaxy held its breath. And then the human ship moved. Slow at first. Then faster. It glided toward the opening in the barrier as if answering a call. The ship's surface glowed with symbols, unknown, strange, and yet familiar in a way no one could explain. The ship passed through the gate. A booming wave of power spread out again, rippling through space. Lights flickered. Engines stalled. Even star cores trembled for a heartbeat. The Vora panicked. "Attack them now!" Kellner roared. "Before they unleash whatever is inside that gate. Humans cannot be allowed to rise." But before any fleet could move, another message appeared on every communication channel in the galaxy. The same calm human voice returned. "This is the Sentinel program. Earth has awakened what it protected. The isolation is over. Prepare yourselves." The message ended. Silence followed. But this silence was different. Heavy, deep, full of questions and fear. The council members stared at one another with wide eyes. The Vora trembled with rage. And across the galaxy, every species understood the same terrible truth. Earth was no longer just a quiet planet. It was the guardian of something powerful. Something ancient. Something that was now awake. And no one knew what would come out of the gate next. The entire galaxy waited as the strange human ship disappeared through the glowing gate behind Earth's old barrier. No one dared to make a move, not even the aggressive Vora fleets that usually acted without thinking. Every species watched their screens with fear, confusion, and a growing sense that the humans had been hiding far more than anyone imagined. The gate pulsed with a faint golden light, sending waves of energy across nearby systems. These waves did not damage anything, but they touched every living being with a cold shiver. It felt like something ancient was waking up, stretching after a long sleep. On a council observation ship, Admiral Velos leaned forward, unable to pull his eyes away from the gate. For decades he had studied Earth's strange silence. For decades he believed humans were simply primitive or cautious. Now everything he believed was falling apart. "What are they doing?" he whispered. His science officer answered with trembling voice. "Sir, readings show activity inside the gate. Something is powering up. Something big." The Los swallowed hard. "Is it a weapon?" "It doesn't match any weapon signature," the officer replied. "It feels alive." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Vora Empire gathered their warships. Their leader, Kellner, could not accept what he was seeing. Humans, a species they once ignored, now controlled something impossible. Something ancient. Something powerful. He slammed his fist on the console. "Prepare all fleets. If humans open that gate completely, we strike first." But even the Vora hesitated. The signals coming from the gate were too strong, too mysterious, too overwhelming. No one wanted to be the first to provoke whatever was awakening. Inside the barrier, the human ship continued to send faint signals. Some scanners managed to capture fragments, heart-like beats, rhythmic pulses, and strange symbols that no one could translate. Some experts believed the symbols were human-made. Others believed they were older, far older than Earth itself. Some even whispered that the humans were not the original creators, they were only the custodians. Back on Earth, deep underground, humans prepared silently. In a hidden chamber beneath the old capital city, a group of senior commanders gathered around a shimmering table. Their faces were calm, focused, and unshaken by the panic spreading across the stars. Commander Lyra, head of the Sentinel program, spoke first. "The gate has awakened. The galaxy has seen it. We cannot hide anymore." Another commander nodded. "Are we ready?" Lyra's voice remained steady. "We were born ready. This is what the Sentinel project was created for. To guard the ancient core until the right time." A young officer, pale with fear, asked, "And what if the galaxy reacts with violence?" Lyra's eyes turned sharp. "Then they will face the reason Earth stayed isolated." Far above Earth, the gate pulsed again. The light grew brighter, swirling like a storm trapped between dimensions. Then, slowly, something massive began to emerge. At first, it looked like a shadow. Then it took shape. A gigantic structure, round, smooth, and glowing with lines of energy. No one could identify what it was. A ship? A station? A living machine? It moved with calm, graceful motion, as if drifting through water. When it fully exited the gate, every scanner in the galaxy overloaded from the energy it released. Static filled screens. Lights flickered. Engines on distant ships shut down for several seconds. Admiral Velos gripped the edge of his seat. This cannot be human-made." His officer shook his head. "Sir, it's older. Much older. But humans are controlling it." On the Vora flagship, Kellner roared in fear and anger. "What have those humans awakened? What have they unleashed?" His second-in-command whispered, "If that thing is a weapon, we cannot defeat it." Kellner's rage twisted into desperation. "Then we strike before they activate it fully." But before any attack could begin, the ancient structure released a calm, soft wave of energy. This time it did not cause any damage. Instead, it carried a message that echoed across every corner of the galaxy. Sentinel core, active. Earth custodians, confirmed. External species, remain at distance. The voice was not human. It was deeper, older, powerful. But the message clearly acknowledged the humans as its guardians. On the council ship, Admiral Velos felt his heart sink. Custodians. They were never isolated because they were weak. They were isolated because they were protecting something. The officer nodded slowly. "Sir, Earth might be the oldest protector civilization in the galaxy." Meanwhile, inside the hidden human chamber on Earth, Commander Lyra watched the ancient structure on a holographic display. It hovered in orbit, glowing with steady power. "The galaxy will panic," one officer said. Lyra nodded. "Let them. We kept the core safe for ages. Now it has awakened. Now they must understand. Outside, the barrier around Earth shifted again. Large sections peeled back, revealing even more of the sky. For the first time in centuries, Earth was fully visible to the galaxy. Ships across space turned their sensors toward the planet. Some trembled at the sight. Some felt hope. Some prepared for war. And then something unexpected happened. The ancient structure slowly rotated, pointing one of its glowing rings toward distant space. A thin beam of light shot out, not destructive, but scanning. It searched the stars like an old being looking for something familiar. After a long moment, the beam stopped. The structure spoke again. Awakening incomplete. Missing fragments detected. Additional keys required. No one understood what that meant, except the humans. Commander Lyra closed her eyes. "So it begins," she whispered. "The galaxy will learn what Earth has been hiding, and they will learn why." And far in the darkness of space, something answered the call. The galaxy held its breath as the ancient structure floated silently above Earth, glowing with slow, rhythmic pulses. Its last message, missing fragments detected. Additional keys required. Echoed across every species' communication networks, leaving confusion and fear behind. No one understood what the keys were. No one except the humans, who remained calm even as the stars trembled. On the Council flagship, Admiral Velos leaned over the projection table, staring at the structure's energy pattern. "It is searching for something," he said quietly. "Something important." His science officer nodded nervously. "Sir, the scan beam traveled beyond our mapped regions. Whatever the structure seeks, it might be far older than all known civilizations." Velos exhaled slowly. "And Earth has been guarding it for ages. Why?" Meanwhile, across the Empire, Vora warlord Kellner paced inside his command chamber. The sight of the ancient structure had turned his confidence into panic. "These humans," he growled, "have awakened something that can destroy us all." His second-in-command spoke carefully. "If they control it, attacking will be suicide." Kellner slammed his fist against the metal wall. "Then we take the control from their hands. We must capture the keys before they do." The Vora fleets began to move, shadowing Earth from a distance, waiting for any clue. Back on Earth, deep inside an underground archive older than any modern building, Commander Lyra walked through a dimly lit corridor. The walls were carved with strange symbols, curves and spirals that did not match any known human language. Some glowed faintly as she passed them, recognizing her presence. High above, the barrier surrounding Earth continued dissolving, piece by piece, revealing skies untouched for centuries. Lyra entered the central chamber, where a dozen human elders stood around a table of shimmering glass. She bowed slightly. "The core has begun its search," she said. "We must prepare." One of the elders stepped forward, his voice old but steady. "The keys were scattered across the galaxy long before humans existed. But the core recognizes us as custodians. That means the responsibility is ours." Lyra nodded. "We have hidden long enough. Now we act." Outside, the ancient structure rotated again, sending another wave of energy across space. This wave carried a different message, one that was felt rather than heard. Images flashed into minds across the galaxy. Dark ruins floating in a nebula, a shattered moon holding something inside, an icy planet with a glowing stone half buried in snow. 3 images. 3 locations. 3 keys. The council ship detected the psychic wave instantly. Officers grabbed their heads in shock. One shouted, "We received visions. Locations. Possible coordinates." Admiral Velos steadied himself. "The core is showing them to everyone. It wants the galaxy involved." He stared at the hologram slowly forming above the table, a map of 3 locations, each glowing faintly. "We must go there before others do." But the Vora received the same visions. Warlord Kellner snarled in satisfaction. "So the keys are real. If we get them first, the humans lose everything." He pointed toward his generals. "Send fleets to all 3 locations. Do not wait. Take whatever is there. But even as ships across the galaxy prepared for desperate races to the three sites, something unexpected happened near Earth. The ancient structure changed shape. Plates of smooth metal shifted, revealing three massive openings like hangar doors. From each opening came a smaller structure, round, silver, glowing like miniature stars. They hovered quietly in the air, waiting. Commander Lyra saw them appear in hologram displays underground. Her eyes widened slightly. "The Seekers," she whispered. "The Corps has sent them." Her officers looked confused. "Seekers?" Lyra nodded. "They will search for the keys. And they will only respond to us." Across the world, 3 human pilots were chosen, each trained for years, each sworn to protect Earth's oldest secret. In hidden hangars under oceans, deserts, and mountains, they stepped into ancient human-built vessels shaped like spears of light. When they launched, the sky itself trembled. The 3 human ships rose to space, merging with the glowing Seekers. When ship and Seeker connected, a ring of energy wrapped around each vessel, giving them incredible speed and awareness. As soon as the fusion completed, all 3 vanished in streaks of light, racing toward the coordinates given by the psychic vision. The galaxy watched in shock. The Council ships hesitated. The Vora hesitated. Even pirate clans and distant species stopped moving. Those 3 human-controlled Seekers traveled faster than any known technology. Light bent around them. Stars stretched like lines. They reached distant space in seconds, leaving everyone else far behind. Admiral Velos stared at the sensor readings in disbelief. They just exceeded all hyperlane limits. Humans were hiding this much power. His officer swallowed. "Sir, we cannot compete. No one can." Meanwhile, at the first location, a dying star system, Seeker 1 arrived above a shattered moon. The moon's ruins glowed with the same symbol patterns seen under Earth. Inside the ruins, something pulsed weakly. A fragment of the key. As the human pilot approached, the entire moon began to vibrate, recognizing the presence of a custodian. At the second location, a frozen world at the edge of the galaxy, Seeker 2 found a hidden chamber beneath the ice. It glimmered like glass, holding a crystal that hummed with ancient melodies. At the third location, a nebula swirling with purple clouds, Seeker 3 detected a floating temple broken into pieces, its core still alive. Each key waited for humans, not aliens. But they were not alone. Vora ships dropped out of warp trails seconds later, weapons armed. Council ships arrived after that, shouting warnings. Everyone pointed their cannons at everyone else. And across the galaxy, all 3 sites erupted into chaos at the same time. Back on Earth, Commander Lyra listened to the reports with a cold, steady expression. "The race has begun," she whispered. "The galaxy thinks they can take the keys." She looked up at the glowing structure orbiting Earth. "But they do not understand. These keys belong to humanity, and we will fight for them." And then, far in the stars, something ancient stirred, something that had slept as long as the core itself. The galaxy had no idea that retrieving the keys might wake something even greater. The galaxy was on edge as the first human-controlled Seekers raced toward the 3 ancient key locations. Every empire, every fleet, and every pirate group with spacefaring capability tried to intercept or spy, but the humans moved faster than anyone could imagine. Their vessels, glowing with the energy of the ancient core, bent light and twisted space, leaving sensors confused and scanners useless. In the dying star system, Seeker 1 hovered above the shattered moon ruins, where fragments of the first key pulsed faintly with energy. The human pilot extended a small energy tether from the Seeker, connecting to the fragment. As soon as contact was made, the fragment lifted slowly, as if responding to an invisible hand, and merged with the Seeker's energy field. The pilot felt a pulse run through the vessel, like a heartbeat syncing with something enormous. At the same time, Vora ships attempted to approach, weapons ready, but invisible energy waves shot out from the Seeker, forcing them back. The shields activated automatically, protecting the pilot, and at the same moment, the orbiting structure above Earth pulsed once in approval. On the frozen world at the edge of the galaxy, Seeker 2 carefully navigated the icy terrain, scanning for hidden chambers. The second key shimmered beneath thick layers of ice, trapped in a crystal casing that hummed with strange melodies. As the pilot reached out, the ice cracked, and the key responded to human presence alone, lifting into the Seeker's energy field with ease. Nearby alien fleets tried to intervene, but every weapon fired fizzled into nothingness, absorbed by the Seeker's protective aura. The ancient AI controlling the Seekers communicated silently, guiding the pilots, warning them, synchronizing their movements with the hidden core back on Earth. At the nebula site, Seeker 3 faced the greatest challenge. A floating temple broken into fragments rotated slowly, each piece glowing with energy that interfered with sensors. The third human pilot maneuvered carefully, dodging collapsing stone debris and volatile energy surges. As soon as the key sensed a human custodian, it detached from its place and merged with the Seeker. In that moment, the nebula's gas clouds illuminated with a soft light, casting strange shadows across nearby ships. The alien fleets were overwhelmed. Their weapons could not even touch the human Seekers. Across the galaxy, news of the first three keys being retrieved spread like wildfire. The council members were speechless, unable to comprehend how humans moved faster than entire fleets, stronger than shields, and safer than their own weapons. Elder Vrax, observing from the Zoltran capital, whispered, "The legends were true. Humanity was never weak. They were sleeping hidden, guarding a power we could only dream of." The Vora, furious and humiliated, did not give up. Kellner ordered multiple fleets to pursue the Seekers simultaneously, hoping to catch even one off guard. But the humans had anticipated this. The Seekers moved with incredible precision, weaving through asteroids, planets, and debris with speeds that made pursuers dizzy. Every attempt to intercept them failed. Back on Earth, Commander Lyra monitored the operations with a calm, unwavering gaze. Every pulse of the core, every movement of the Seekers, every alien reaction was being tracked. "The first stage is complete," she said to her officers. "The keys have recognized us. Now we prepare for Stage 2. The AI controlling Guardian 1 added, "The external fleets underestimate humans. Defensive protocols fully operational. Offensive support on standby." In the galaxy, alien fleets could only watch helplessly as the Seekers returned toward Earth, keys safely secured. Each Seeker left trails of light, a display of energy that left the nearest fleets in awe and terror. As the Seekers approached Earth, the ancient orbiting structure opened 3 massive docking bays. The keys levitated from the Seeker vessels and merged with the bays, causing the structure to glow even brighter. The pulse from the structure spread across the solar system, reinforcing Earth's barrier and activating secondary defense layers hidden for millennia. At that moment, the Council ships and Vora fleets closest to Earth felt the warning. Engines and weapons began malfunctioning without explanation. Entire squadrons were forced to retreat. Some crews panicked and fled beyond safe zones. On the planet's surface, humans continued their normal lives, unaware of the cosmic battle happening above them. But deep underground, the core's hum grew louder, and the air in hidden chambers seemed heavier with power. Commander Lyra and her team stood silently, watching the keys merge with the ancient structure. "Stage 2 complete," Lyra said. "The core is fully awakened. Now we wait for the next signal." And the signal came almost immediately. A deep, resonant hum reverberated through space, audible in every ship, felt in every body, a vibration that seemed alive. The message was clear, though it carried no words. The next stage of Earth's awakening had begun. It was no longer a planet hiding in silence. It was a planet ready to defend itself and its custodians. Far in the distance, fleets from multiple empires paused, unable to move closer. The human vessels had vanished, keys were secured, and the structure in orbit was alive with energy beyond comprehension. The galaxy now understood that Earth was no longer isolated. It had been hidden, guarded, and prepared for something much greater than any empire could imagine. And somewhere beyond the stars, the ancient enemy that had first been defeated by humanity long ago stirred, sensing the energy of the awakened core. It had been waiting. It had been watching. And now, with the keys returned and the core fully active, the first true battle for the future of the galaxy was about to begin. Humanity, once thought weak and hidden, was finally ready. The Seekers returned to their positions in orbit, merging seamlessly with the structure. Guardian 1 activated new systems, preparing defenses, scanning for threats, and synchronizing with every hidden machine across Earth. The pulse of the planet echoed outward, announcing to the galaxy, Earth is awake. The humans are ready, and the ancient enemy will pay attention. The race for the keys had ended, but the true struggle had only just begun. Every empire, every fleet, every intelligence agency now knew that Earth was no ordinary planet, and that humanity had survived and hidden a power the galaxy could no longer ignore. The stage was set, the players ready, and the countdown to the first real conflict had begun. After the keys were returned and the ancient structure fully awakened, the galaxy settled into an uneasy silence. Every empire, fleet, and species watched Earth from afar, afraid to move but unable to look away. The human-controlled seekers hovered in orbit, their energy fields shimmering like sentinels guarding the planet. Deep underground, the core pulsed steadily, sending energy through hidden networks that connected to mountains, oceans, and deserts, awakening ancient machines long buried beneath the Earth's surface. Commander Lyra and her team monitored every signal, every movement, aware that the key's return was only the beginning. The AI spoke softly through the hidden consoles, its voice calm but heavy with urgency. Primary threat detected. Old enemy approaching. Estimated arrival. Standard hyperlane travel in 6 galactic cycles. Lyra's eyes narrowed. It has been waiting all this time. It has been watching. It knew we would awaken the core eventually. Far beyond the galaxy, in uncharted space, a dark force stirred. Massive vessels unlike any known technology drifted through empty star systems. They were enormous, black, and covered in strange markings that glowed faintly red. The sensors of distant patrol ships could barely detect them. Some called them ghosts, others called them devourers. They were the enemy humans had fought in legends long forgotten. And now, they were moving toward the Milky Way, drawn by the energy pulse of the awakened core. Inside the orbiting structure, Guardian 1 scanned the surrounding space, its systems detecting the faintest movements, the tiniest energy traces. Unknown fleet approaching, it said. Threat level, extreme. Prepare planetary defenses. Lyra turned to her officers. Alert all hidden units. Activate secondary defenses. This is the first real test. Across the galaxy, reports started arriving from the edges of inhabited space. Traders, explorers, and scientists detected strange anomalies. Stars dimming unexpectedly, energy fields appearing and disappearing, and shadows moving where no ships existed. Every sighting carried the same signature, the signature of the ancient enemy. On the Zoltran capital, Elder Vrax read the reports with mounting fear. He had fought threats before, but none like this. The humans were not lying, he muttered. They were guarding something far beyond our understanding. Council members whispered frantically, trying to devise a plan. Some wanted to approach Earth, others wanted to flee. None could predict what would happen when the old enemy arrived. Meanwhile, the Vora prepared their fleets, but even they hesitated. The humans had recovered the keys. The core was active, and the first wave of the old enemy would reach the outer system soon. Kellner's usual confidence was replaced with tension and doubt. We may not survive this, he admitted to his generals. On Earth, humans still lived unaware of much of the cosmic movements. Cities thrived, skies were calm, and life seemed ordinary. But the few chosen custodians, including Lyra, knew differently. They felt the tremors beneath the surface, the pulse of the planet as it prepared to face a threat that had not existed in the galaxy for millennia. In orbit, the Seekers scanned distant space constantly. Every sensor detected anomalies, strange ships moving faster than any known hyperlane technology. The humans communicated silently with the core, and the AI coordinated planetary systems, raising shields, activating guardians, and preparing response strategies. Then, faintly at first, signals of the enemy appeared near the outer border of the galaxy. Sensors went wild. Light distorted. Energy readings spiked beyond comprehension. The old enemy was no fleet of ordinary ships. Its vessels seemed alive, each moving with a purpose, reacting to every scan, and avoiding every potential trap. It's intelligent, one officer whispered to Lyra. Every unit thinks, plans, reacts. She nodded, her eyes fixed on the display. We always knew it. The legends were warnings. Humanity defeated them before. We will do it again. On the Council flagship, Admiral Velos watched the same readings with growing anxiety. This is unlike anything we have ever faced, he muttered. And the humans control the only thing that can stop it. In the approaching enemy's fleet, shadows shifted, dark energy flowing across hulls that resembled twisted organic metal hybrids. The ships did not communicate like normal fleets. They acted in unison, as if sharing a single mind. Every vessel carried the signature of a predator, a hunter, a destroyer. And the energy from Earth, the pulse of the core, the return of the keys, was a beacon calling them closer. In space near the Sol system, the first smaller enemy ships appeared on sensors. They were fast, sleek, and deadly. The AI detected them instantly and activated planetary defense satellites, orbital cannons, and automated drone units. Energy fields flared, weapons charged, and seekers moved to intercept. Lyra gave calm but firm orders. Do not fire unless necessary. Observe first. The core's systems will guide us. Let the enemy come closer. We are ready. From the perspective of distant alien empires, the galaxy's tension grew. Every species now realized Earth was more than a planet. It was a force. It was alive. It had hidden power that had survived centuries of isolation. And it was ready to face the first wave of an enemy so old, so powerful, that entire civilizations had been destroyed by it in legends. Far beneath the planet, Guardian 1's deep systems hummed louder than ever. Massive machines activated in a synchronized rhythm. Mountains vibrated with hidden engines, oceans moved with hidden power, and subterranean tunnels opened to release Guardian units long asleep. Energy flowed through ancient circuits, connecting the planet, the orbiting structure, the seekers, and every hidden weapon built by humans millennia ago. The first strike of the old enemy was inevitable. Their advance could no longer be stopped by distance. And as the first ships came into range of the outer planets of the solar system, the humans, custodians of the keys, and the awakened core waited silently. They were calm, prepared, and ready. The legends of humanity's ancient victories were about to repeat. But this time, the enemy had adapted, had grown, and had never forgotten. And the galaxy knew, for the first time, that Earth was no longer just a planet. It was the last hope. The first encounter with the old enemy was about to begin, and no one could predict how many would survive the coming storm. The galaxy trembled as the first wave of the old enemy reached the outer edges of the Sol system. Ships unlike anything anyone had seen before moved with terrifying precision, each one a black silhouette against the stars, glowing with red energy that seemed alive. On the orbiting ancient structure above Earth, Guardian 1 hummed with immense power, sending pulses through the seekers and activating planetary defenses. Commander Lyra and her team watched the sensors carefully, calm and focused despite the fear gripping the galaxy. "They are here," Lyra said softly. "And it is time." Deep underground, massive machines long buried beneath continents roared to life. Mountains shifted imperceptibly. Oceans churned. Subterranean tunnels opened, releasing Guardian units the size of skyscrapers. Every system connected to the core moved with perfect synchronization, guided by the AI and human custodians. In space, the Seekers positioned themselves strategically around the planet, energy fields glowing brighter than any known star. They were not just weapons. They were extensions of the core, extensions of humanity's will to protect. The first enemy ships approached cautiously, scanning the solar system, sensing the energy, feeling the power that pulsed from Earth. But every scan failed. Every attempt to detect the Seekers or hidden weapons returned no data. The enemy ships began firing. Beams of red energy tore through space, targeting the planet's outer satellites. The shields activated instantly, absorbing and dispersing the attacks. The enemy expected resistance, but not the full force of humanity itself. On Earth, life continued seemingly normal on the surface. Humans walked their cities, children played, birds flew in the sky, unaware that the planet below was now a fortress ready for war. Commander Lyra and her team monitored the battlefield from deep underground, giving calm orders. Engage the enemy units only when they cross the boundary. Let the core guide us. Every strike must be precise. The Seekers responded instantly, moving with impossible speed. Enemy ships that tried to retreat found themselves immobilized, engines shut down by the invisible energy fields generated by the core. The AI communicated with every Guardian unit, every hidden weapon, and every seeker simultaneously, creating a network of unstoppable precision. One by one, the enemy ships began to falter. Weapons failed. Shields collapsed. Navigation systems went offline. The energy of the core was ancient, intelligent, and far beyond anything the enemy had ever faced. Admiral Velos, watching from the Council flagship, whispered to his officers, "I have never seen power like this. These humans, they are more than a species. They are a force of nature." In the Vora fleets, panic spread like wildfire. Kellner could not believe what he was seeing. Entire squadrons were disabled without a single human appearing. "Impossible," he shouted. "This should not happen." Yet every wave of energy, every strike of the Seekers, and every pulse from the core proved him wrong. Deep in the enemy fleet, something stirred. A massive command ship, far larger than any other, emitted a signal. It called for coordination, trying to fight back against the invisible force that crippled them. But the more they tried, the stronger the human network became. The ancient core recognized the threat as one it had battled long ago, a predator it had defeated in the earliest days of humanity's rise. Now fully awake, it moved like a living entity, coordinating humans, seekers, and guardians in perfect synchronization. The first direct engagement occurred at the asteroid belt. Enemy ships that tried to flee were intercepted by seeker units, disabled, and rendered immobile. Energy fields from the orbiting structure created traps that the enemy could not detect. Ships collided, spun out of control, or simply drifted in space, powerless. On the surface of Earth, subtle vibrations were felt, but people dismissed them as natural events. No one saw the mountains shift or the oceans churn, but those were the first signs of the planet itself joining the battle. Commander Lyra watched every display calmly, knowing that the galaxy had never seen humans like this before. "They will learn," she said quietly. "They will learn why we were hidden. They will learn why we survived." The AI spoke next, its voice resonating throughout the subterranean chamber. "Enemy incapacitation 67%. Main fleet disabled. Secondary units retreating. Planetary defenses online. Awaiting further instructions." Lyra nodded. "Prepare the final strike. Do not hesitate. Humanity will not fail." Across space, the enemy realized the truth too late. Their fleet was not facing a planet. They were facing an intelligence older than empires, a force that controlled machines, energy, and even space itself. The ancient adversary tried to regroup, but every move was anticipated and countered. The Seekers moved like streaks of light, striking with precision, disabling command units, and isolating the enemy into helpless clusters. In orbit, the ancient structure pulsed one final time. A massive energy wave shot outward, sweeping through the remaining enemy ships. Entire squadrons collapsed instantly. Weapons melted. Engines exploded. The survivors fled, their ships crippled and directionless. Silence fell across the battlefield. For the first time, the galaxy witnessed a planet defend itself fully, not just with weapons, but with intelligence, strategy, and ancient power. Commander Lyra and her team allowed themselves a brief moment of relief, knowing the first wave was gone. But they also knew this was only the beginning. The old enemy might return, stronger, with more fleets, with more cunning. But humanity had awakened. The core was alive. Every hidden machine, every guardian, every seeker, and every human custodian was ready. Across the galaxy, stories would be told of this day. The day Earth rose from silence, the day humans revealed their hidden power, the day the old enemy learned that the planet they thought weak was in fact the most dangerous force in the galaxy. And deep underground, the AI spoke one final time, its voice echoing like a promise and a warning: humanity is awake. Earth is prepared. The galaxy will remember this. The stars themselves seemed to shiver at the statement. And somewhere beyond the edges of known space, the old enemy recoiled, realizing that it would no longer dominate, no longer hunt freely. Humanity had returned, stronger than ever. The keys were in place. The core was fully active. The Seekers were ready. And the first real battle for the survival of the galaxy had been won. Not by fleets, not by empires, but by the humans who had waited in silence for millennia. Earth had awakened. Humanity was ready. And nothing in the galaxy would ever underestimate them again.